Let's bring into our coverage ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. Congressman, your thoughts on all of this?
Well, Nicole, I wish I could tell you from my standpoint as ranking member of the Intelligence Committee that the clown car, which just obliterated trillions of dollars of Americans' retirement funds and the money that, people were going to use to pay for their kids' colleges, obliterated 401ks. I wish I could tell you that was limited to the economic incompetence that we've seen these last couple of days. Sadly, it's not, right? We've seen this going back to, Mike Waltz inadvertently including a reporter on a very sensitive Signal chat. And now you outlined it exactly right. I got a call last night at about 11 at night that Tim Hawk had been fired. This is a four-star general with decades worth of noble service to the United States in an enormously sensitive position, right? This is not, by the way, apparently she fired people in the National Security Council as well. All of these people are extremely specialized in their capabilities, and all of those capabilities are put to work every day to keep us safe. In the case of the NSA, you said it exactly right. It's super sensitive because the NSA is the one element of the intelligence community that actually bumps up against Americans' emails, Americans' phone calls. The CIA does not operate in or around the United States, right? The NSA, because we suck in emails and texts, there's sometimes an American on the other side of that. So this is not a job where you can just have somebody inexperienced step in. And so, again, you said it exactly right. The same instinct in this administration that has obliterated Americans' wealth over the last 2 days is also making us much, much less safe and secure.
Well, let me press you a little bit. I mean, for all of Donald Trump's ignorance, the NSA collects the exact kind of intelligence that he understands well. It's signal, right? Signal intelligence, which are intercepts. Mike Flynn, I believe, is first on the radar of the Department of Justice and FBI's national security experts because of signal intelligence. I mean, just talk about why anybody would want a partisan, a loyalist in this post.
You wouldn't. You need a technician, right? I mean, what are the things that we worry most about? We worry about a pandemic that could kill another 1.2 million Americans. We worry that we could get into a war in the Middle East, that China might surprise us, that Russia might launch nuclear weapons. All of that stuff we only know about because of the intelligence community, and largely because we're really, really good at intercepting the phone calls, the emails, and the texts of the bad guys. And it's an enormously technical thing. By the way, remember, this job is not just collecting intelligence that keeps us from being surprised by apocalyptic things. It's also our offensive capability. The NSA director is also the cyber commander, right, of that combatant command. So at a point when the Chinese are pulling Salt Typhoon and this Typhoon and getting into all of our networks, they just fired the guy whose job is to retaliate for that sort of thing. So again, as I keep telling the top management of the intelligence community, something is going to happen. A terrorist attack is going to get through. The Chinese are going to surprise us. The Russians are going to move nuclear weapons around it. And because of the clown show, we're not going to know about it. And that is going to be around your neck for the rest of your lives because you didn't stand up and say, no, we're not firing a four-star general whose entire life is dedicated to keeping it safe because Laura Loomer says you should do it.
Are you hearing from any of your Republican colleagues any rumblings of anything resembling courage or dissent?
Well, that's a super interesting question, right? Because, probably until 2 days ago, I would have said, no, I'm not, yes, they had hard town hall meetings. They got screamed at in places like Wyoming, not exactly a Democratic stronghold. I will tell you, part of the reason my party lost the presidential election is because eggs and beef and chicken were expensive. The flip side of that is when you do things that obliterate Americans' wealth, that's the same thing as Americans having reduced purchasing power. So the rage, and you're already seeing it, right? Ted Cruz of all people is saying, oh my God, there could be a bloodbath in the midterms. So I think when we get back to work next week, Republicans, having obliterated trillions of dollars of American household wealth, are going to have a newfound sense of humility. Whether that translates into a willingness to oppose the president, we might not be there yet, but we're getting there.
I think there's a dismantling of the moment, and I think there's a realization that MAGA is a vibe. And I think you see how easily it's been punctured. And I'd love to unpack all those political things with you next week if you will come back.
You put it exactly right. I've been saying this. Nicole. The whole theory of MAGA was let's break everything. Let's break everything. And I get it. People were angry. They wanted to break things, but breaking things has consequences, right? They broke Americans' retirements. They've broken the international